When the new girl took maternity leave, we all said, get Sue back.
Oh, whatever happened to my old typewriter?
We got rid of it years ago. Coffee?
Yes, thanks.
Microsoft makes software that makes computers work for you.
So, you've used Microsoft?
For as long as I've been using computers.
Microsoft, making it easier.
Alright, so you were probably wondering why you just saw a 90s Microsoft or Microsoft Windows commercial on the screen, and this is a video about some guy's personal poker chips. Well, the whole story is as to why there are Microsoft Windows logos on a chip by the guy of Michael Ginsberg, which is really interesting. So, obviously, most of you probably who know or know anything about Paulson, or as far as like TRK, Paulson, Bud Jones, and everything like that, and similar to nowadays, companies like Matsui, CPC, Burnett, and B&G, and all these other companies, you can order your own custom chips with basically whatever you want with them. If you have a company logo and you have the copyright for it, you can get that company logo on your chips. But as far as a bigger company like Microsoft or Microsoft Windows, you would need the actual copyright, and you'd have to be someone in the higher up as an executive, the CEO, COO, or some type of manager at one of these major firms to be able to get that type of logo on your chips. So in the case of the gentleman we're talking about today that was named Michael Ginsberg, he was apparently a young Microsoft Corporation executive, and the article that I found, or that many people who kind of found these chips about 2 weeks ago when they were posted on eBay, the article was written in 2006. Says Michael Ginsberg was a young Microsoft Corporation executive who convinced his colleagues that he was an investment genius, according to court documents. So, obviously, if this went to court, he obviously screwed some people over. They probably went to court and tried to get their money back that they lost, and I'm sure they did, because this guy Michael Ginsberg doesn't sound like really the smartest of guys. So, it says he took their money, including almost $5 million, from one man, sent out monthly email bulletins keeping them posted on their investments, which seemed to be doing well. In reality, he spent their money on a lavish home, a yacht, a dock, a sports car, and a wine collection, according to court documents. Apparently gambled the rest in the glitzy casinos of Las Vegas before ending his own life in 2001, which is unfortunate, but I guess that's how the cookie crumbled. So on Tuesday, this was, like I said, written in 2006, the state court of appeals ruled that Ginsberg colleagues collectively will be able to recover $284,000 of the approximately $8 million they lost. Though it's just a sliver, it was possible the six would end up with nothing at all. A spokesperson for Microsoft, which was closed Tuesday, said he was not familiar with Ginsberg and didn't have any access to the company's employment records. During his time at Microsoft, Ginsberg apparently held himself out as an investment wizard and prevailed upon a number of his colleagues to entrust substantial amounts of money to him to be invested in funds under his control. Five gave him amounts ranging from $375,000 to almost $900,000, and one trusted him with almost $5 million, which is, even $900K, $5 million is probably more than most people will ever make in their life. So to give some young Microsoft executive $5 million to let him invest your money and just hope that your investment was doing good was a pretty risky deal. But who knows who that was who gave him $5 million. I mean, the court probably has the paperwork, but it's a lot of money. So Ginsberg told one woman who gave him nearly $500K that she could be rest assured that her money was in good hands, and it actually ended up in the hands of the Bellagio later that day, or the very next day. He told his colleagues that he managed 2 different funds and invested heavily and successfully in technology and medical stocks. His phony fund reports claimed that the funds had made up 12% in a month. He made 2 payments to two of the people, $15,000 to the man who had shelled out almost $5 million, and $34,000 to a man who had given him roughly $440,000. So, how are you gonna give more money to a guy that gave you $400K and you only give half of that amount to the guy that gave you $5 million? So that makes absolutely no sense right there. Let's see. After Ginsberg's death, Ginsberg's widow discovered that her joint bank account had held less than $6,000 and their credit card bills totaled about $200K. She looked over the bank records and saw that her husband had written a series of checks for amounts between $25,000 and $100,000 made out to different casinos in Reno and Las Vegas. According to court documents, Ginsberg's wife had no idea what her husband had been up to and didn't participate in his phony investment activities, but this wasn't clear until Ginsberg passed away in 2001. So, the story that I'm kind of curious, and I'm sure, most people out there on PCF, eBay, or those that have seen these chips, we're guessing that these chips were a part of his personal chip set, because it has his name. See, it's got his name there, Michael Ginsberg. And then on the back side, you obviously have the Windows Microsoft logo. So, but the interesting thing about this set is that there is a 50-cent chip. Then from 50 cent you go to $1, which is an interesting pink. Then you have the 5, which is there. Then you have the 10, which is really interesting as well. And then obviously you have the 25 that I just showed you. But the interesting thing that I was talking to some friends, why would someone who is getting millions of dollars and saying he's an investment wizard only going to be playing with 50-cent chips all the way up to 25s? Now, it could make sense if, let's say, in his bank account, like he said, or his widow said, that he only had about $6,000 in there and over $200K in credit card bills, that the guy probably didn't have too much money if he was spending all the money that he was given from his colleagues. Say with $5 million, you could be doing pretty well and you could probably live for the rest of your life, no problem. But if you go to these casinos, you're writing checks to casinos in Reno and Vegas from anywhere from $25K to $100K. You obviously have a major gambling addiction. So, it's an interesting story, and the interesting thing about Michael Ginsberg himself, you try to go on Google Images, you can't find any pictures of the guy. There's, I guess, some person named Michael Ginsberg in, is this a movie or a TV show? There's a TV show called Mad Men, where there is a person named Michael Ginsberg in that, but as far as finding pictures of Ginsberg, this young executive Microsoft, or this young Microsoft executive, there's nothing about him on the internet as far as pictures. You can find the pictures of the chipset itself that was posted on PCF, and if you go to academic.microsoft.com, Michael Ginsberg was apparently an author with 33 publications and almost 1,600 citations in the topics of biology, cell biology, endothelial stem cells, cellular differentiation, embryonic stem cells, regeneration, everything to do with biology, cells, and stuff like that. So it's really interesting, and these citations as far as these articles and research papers that have been written, these are like really recent, 2016, 2014, 2017, 2013. These are recent, so it's interesting to try and find information about Ginsberg himself, because like I said, as far as pictures, you can't find anything. Videos, you can't find anything. He was a Microsoft executive, so you think they would have had something on the employment records even in the 90s or 80s whenever he was a part of Microsoft, but there is nothing. So yeah, it's an interesting story, but I wanted to make this video because these Paulson chips are so unique. I believe the full set that was sold, there were 2 sets sold on eBay, and I believe that there was a total of 1,600 chips, because they were 1,600 or it was close to 1,700 chips, because they were both, each listing had somewhere around 800 chips per. So a lot of people were pretty surprised. Someone said, "I can't believe a Microsoft executive played 2550." They're wondering why there's only 5, 10, 25s. There were 25 centers. That's, I guess, the only one that I'm missing here. So yeah, it's interesting. If these Microsoft, or if this guy, I mean, he was a Microsoft executive, but he's playing 2550 home games, it's interesting. And like, even he was probably thinking that they were going to be playing with more money, but that wasn't the case. So just want to make this quick video. I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen these chips, if you guys have any backstory more about them. The interesting thing would be if we could somehow get access to the Paulson order records, similar to like in the 90s and 80s and early 2000s, some of the people that have been in the hobby were able to contact TRK and find out where some of these chips that they weren't able to identify, where some of those chips were from. So if there is any way that we could get some type of record on Michael Ginsberg from Paulson GPI to try and figure out when these chips were ordered and as to who they were specifically ordered to, that would be incredible and really, really interesting, because I'd love to find that out. So yeah, just a quick little video today, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like. If you have any comments or wanted to share your thoughts about these chips, put those down in the comments. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We've constantly been growing, and like I keep saying every video, everyone who watches the videos, everyone who likes the videos, shares the videos, it's greatly appreciated, and I can't thank you enough for that. So thank you again, once again, for watching the video. It's been Oscar, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.